Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to this HeyTechi video. My name is Stephen, and today I'm going to be looking at this, the Onvis K1 LED light strip. It's just been launched here in the UK last week, and Onvis has very kindly sent me out a sample to feature in today's video. I don't want to hype it up too much, but this might be the nearest thing to perfection by way of an LED light strip that I've ever seen. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we do though, if you're interested in all things to do with the Apple smart home, whether that be Apple HomeKit or Siri shortcuts or anything and everything in between, please consider subscribing to my channel. HeyTechi is one of the fastest growing smart home channels on YouTube at the moment, and we're building a community of like-minded people to come together and build the best Apple smart home community on the internet, and you're invited. Just 6% of you watching this video have subscribed so far, even though we get thousands of you returning video after video. Join us today and help us build that best community together. The Onvis K1 was released earlier this year in North America, but it's just been released in the UK this month. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, yes Stephen, you've looked at LED light strips before, but how does this one differ? Surely they all do the same thing. Now sure, fundamentally you're right, they all provide light, but that's as far as the similarities go. The K1 here is different because, unlike almost all other HomeKit LED light strips on the market today, the K1 has the ability to light up in multiple different colours at exactly the same time. The tagline for this product is "Paint your light," and Onvis take this really quite literally, but we're going to come back to that in a minute. The packaging here itself is great, and it really shows off the product well and has all the details you might need to know. For those of you who are watching but who aren't HomeKit users, you'll also be pleased to know that this product also works with both Google and Amazon smart home assistants, so that's a nice bonus there if you're interested in that kind of thing. The Onvis K1 comes in a 2-meter and a 5-meter version. If you're interested in picking one up or checking them out in your own time, there are links in the description down below. With the exception of the length, there is nothing to separate the two versions. Both have exactly the same functionality, of course the 5-meter is just 3 meters longer. When you open up the box, you're going to find these components inside. There's some plastic inside here which could probably go, and sure, it keeps the components safe in transit, but a more sustainable cardboard packaging solution would have been better in my view. However, what I was pleased to see is that Onvis have cut down on electrical waste by having a plug adapter system for the power supply. So here you can see that I've got the UK power adapter, but if you bought this product in the United States, you'll get an American outlet, and the EU you'll have a European adapter, etc, etc. It's a nice clip-in style system that works well and reduces waste, so big thumbs up from me. Along with that, there are a few accessories, including some clips and screws for mounting the strip if you wanted to secure it firmly without using the adhesive on the back of the light strip. Now I've got to be honest, I've seen various different designs for these kind of things, and I'm not a fan of these, purely because screwing screws into a wall or a piece of furniture is a pretty fast way to lose your deposit when renting a house like me, but I have no doubt that they would be very effective if you did want to install them that way. If you need something that won't mark your walls or your furniture, I'd really recommend the 3M Command damage-free handling Velcro mounts. Now they're actually intended for framed pictures or artwork, but having recently moved house, I was really pleased with them when I took them off the wall and they left the paint completely undamaged. I'll leave a link for them below if you're interested. Back in the Onvis box, there's also some spare sticky mounts for the physical controls of the light strip should you want them. This little remote is pretty useful thanks to its onboard microphone, and that's something we'll come back to a little later on. The setup for the K1 is pretty standard and in line with all other LED HomeKit light strips. First, connect the 3-pin connector with the socket and slide down the screw fitting to keep them together securely. Then plug the other end into the wall power supply and turn it on. Once the power is turned on, the light strip will illuminate, letting you know that it's all connected up okay. You'll notice right away that these aren't the brightest LEDs in the world, and so I really would only be recommending that you use these for accent lighting only. In fact, when I searched online, I couldn't find a lumen rating for them. Once you've got it all set up and the power turned on, all you'll need to do to connect it to HomeKit is to scan the HomeKit QR code, which can be found in the manual or on the side of the remote, and go through the HomeKit setup like you would for any other product. Like most other HomeKit devices, this light strip will only work with a 2.4 GHz internet connection, so if you're having connectivity troubles, it's probably because you're trying to set it up whilst connected to the 5G band. All in all though, the setup is very simple and easy to do, and I've set this up a few times now and I've never had a single issue, so there are no issues that I can report here. If you haven't heard, I've just launched my 1000 subscriber giveaway, so head on over to this short video here if you haven't seen it already if you want to enter. One lucky winner will be taking home a brand new Apple HomePod Mini in the colour of their choice. You can find out all of the details about how to enter in this video up here, and the link is in the description if you want to check it out later too. Now at this point, I found myself saying recently that once you've set up the product, you'll only want to use the Apple Home app, but that is definitely not the case here. For that reason though, even if you're setting this up for use with HomeKit, you're really going to want to download the Onvis app first, and trust me, you will want to have it. The app itself is really well designed, and it's mostly pretty stable. I've had this a little while now, and it's only crashed on me once or twice. Now sure, that's not ideal, but it works pretty much every time I've needed it. And it's only crashed when setting up actual scenes for HomeKit integration, so that might be an area of weakness in the app itself which could be fixed in a later update. For the moment though, it's very serviceable and it works well 99% of the time. What the app does do though is it opens up a toy box of what the K1 light strip can do, and what sets it apart from nearly every other LED light strip on the market today. When you click onto the light strip in the app, you'll be presented with a trove of different options and customization settings. And at the outset, I have to tell you, I'm not going to go into all of them here in this video because it would be well over an hour long if I wanted to test out every single setting. Across the top though, you'll see the main options: paint, music, twinkle, security, and preset. The first mode that you arrive on in the app is the default mode, if you will, and that gives you a solid LED strip of a single colour, but even here Onvis has added some special features. If you scroll down, you'll have control over the colour transitions, ranging from transit, converge, diverge, forward, backward, and random. Now sure, this isn't reinventing the wheel by any sense, but it really does add something a little bit different to the experience that we're already used to if you enjoy LED light strip lighting in your home. And I really appreciate this. It really makes the K1 stand out on the market, and this is only the most basic features. Beside those basic features, there are also some more at the bottom. You can customize the speed and set up schedules for the light to turn on or to change colour. You can also use the timed gradual setting so that the light turns on at a set time before gradually getting brighter and brighter. Now these features are pretty standard for most smart lights, but they're less common on LED light strips, so it's clear to me just how much thought that Onvis has put into their design here. And it's for this reason that I want to come back to just everything you can do with one of these light strips in a future video, because otherwise this review is just going to be too long, as I mentioned earlier. For me personally, the ability to set up a timer so the light can change colour at set times is probably the most valuable. During lockdown, I've been working from home like many of you, and I've had to convert my bedroom desk into an office space. So I've been using my LED lights to distinguish between when it's time to work and when it's time to kick back and relax. And that's also why I brought these LEDs with me when I was in London this week too. It's a great way to try and mentally separate work from pleasure time. Going back to the top of the screen though, we can find the other major features of this light strip. Paint mode is probably the best of all, and it's probably going to be the mode that you're going to want most of all too, as it allows you to completely customize, or paint if you will, whatever colours you want onto your light strip in any order you want, which is absolutely incredible. You'll see here on the app There's a bar across the top which represents the entire light strip, while the bar below that looks a little bit like a snake from the old mobile game is a more interactive way that you can engage with it. For the 2-meter edition, the bend marks the exact middle of the light strip, whereas I found it a little harder to identify where you are on the light strip when using the 5-meter edition. And all of this is made possible by the way that Onvis has built this light strip to function. The strip is broken up into units, and each unit is made up of 3 of these little individual LED chips, and each unit can show one single colour at a time. The 2-meter strip has 60 individual LEDs, yes I counted, so that means you've got 20 units, so that means you can display up to 20 different colours at any one time. On the 5-meter version you get 150 LEDs, so 50 units and so up to 50 different colours. Again, when you go into the settings, there are endless ways in which you can customise the light strip to express yourself on the paint mode. Once again, you can also control the brightness and the saturation of all of these colours too, so there are quite literally millions of ways to get the look that you want. It's important to remember though that this is an RGB strip, and so not the best for ambient white lighting. It's also good to remember that there's no HomeKit adaptive lighting or circadian lighting so far as I can see, but you probably don't want to be wasting such a colourful light strip to use it just for normal lighting. Beyond paint, there is also the music mode, which allows the small microphone on the side of the little remote to allow the light strip to react to the beat of your music. Now with the COVID restrictions, I can't remember the last time that I had some friends to kick back with some tunes, but the next time it does happen, you can be guaranteed that the Onvis K1 is going to come into its own. The music mode works really well when paired with a HomePod Mini, as I found that the hearty bass generated by the speaker is picked up particularly well by the microphone. So far, everything's been very positive, and hats off to Onvis for creating a fantastic LED light strip with so many features. But HeyTechi is an Apple HomeKit channel, and it so would be remiss if I didn't explore how the two integrate together. Now, this isn't the easiest thing to work out, but you can get your created painted light strips and import them into the HomeKit app using Scenes. To do so, you'll need to head into the Auto section of the Onvis app and set up a new scene. And after naming it, you can choose what specific accessories you want to add. And it's nice too that this isn't limited to just Onvis accessories, as you can see my LifeX mini bulb there too. For the sake of keeping things simple though, we're not going to add that, we're simply going to go through into the next screen, which gives us a range of options. If you turn on mode, you'll then be presented with a full array of options. What I really appreciate about the way that Onvis have set this up is that the more dynamic options for your light strip, like the music mode, can still be triggered through HomeKit in this way. My only complaint about this is that Onvis haven't signposted this integration very well in the app itself, and it actually took me a little while to figure out how to do this. It's not the easiest thing to set up either, it can take a lot of time, but if you're playing around in the Onvis app, you're probably going to be enjoying the experience so much that it's not going to matter too much to you. Just be aware that it can be a bit tricky, and it's typically at this point that the app fails. So all in all then, how are we going to sum this up? The Onvis K1 light strip is a fantastic piece of smart home equipment. They've really set themselves apart from the rest of the market with this product. Now sure, LifeX have their own multicoloured LED Z strip, but the 2-meter equivalent costs £80, or the best part of $100, which is double for what you can buy this Onvis variant for. And you don't get quite as many customization options with the LifeX than you do with Onvis. It's worth appreciating though that this video only really presents an overview of all of the features available here, and the full video would be a lot longer, and if you want to see it, make sure you leave me a comment down below. The fact that all of the customization that the Onvis app offers can be imported into HomeKit Scenes is the real winner here for me. Yes, all of the other features in the Onvis app are good, but getting all of this technology to work with HomeKit is what matters to me most, and Onvis deliver here, they just don't do it in the neatest or tidiest way. Once you've got those features customized and set up and saved into a scene, you won't really need to go near the Onvis app again if you choose not to. You're only going to need that when you want to change up your color customization options. The only thing I'd like to have seen added to this light strip is thread connectivity, like the Nanoleaf Essentials lineup. I see this becoming the real future standard of the smart home, but if I'm honest, I'm looking for things to critique here at this point. To put it simply, I think this is the best LED HomeKit light strip I've used to date. I'm really genuinely impressed with it, and with a little bit more refinement to the app, it might just be perfect. If you're still here, thanks so much for watching my video all the way through to the end. It is really appreciated. I'm sorry that the video production has been a little off schedule recently. Between recording, filming and editing, all whilst on the move, is a lot harder than I ever expected, and it's been hard to keep on schedule. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure that you enter my giveaway to celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers, which we did last month. If you want to enter, you'll need to check out the other video here to find out all of the details. Don't forget that HeyTechi is also active on Instagram and Facebook too, so why not also follow us there for some extra content during the week. There's a lot of extra stuff that you're not going to see here on YouTube, so make sure to follow us and subscribe there too. Until next time then, I've been Stephen for HeyTechi.